Bonjour! Bonjour!
No. Time for bladder check.
Check.
So it's a show?
It's a lifestyle.
It's a religion.
My emotions! My emotions!
I'm still French.
Ouais, c'est pas faux.
I'm a woman, Mary. I can be as contrary as I choose.
Non, moi je crois qu'il faut que vous arrêtiez d'essayer de dire des trucs.
Hello, hi, I'm Laura. I'm gonna watch The Legend of Korra Season 2, Episode 4. I just watched the episode 2 and 3. If you want to see my reaction videos about that, I'm gonna put the link into the I binge watched all of Avatar The Last Airbender. I watched all of the season 1 of The Legend of Korra and now the season 2, which is hard for now, for the beginning of this season 2. It's really hard. It was hard to see Korra pushing away Tenzin like that during the episode 1. It was hard after that during the episode 2 to see her pushing away her dad. And now during the last episode, really the last episode made me sad. I said it during the review, I was so sad. And the narrative arc with Tenzin and his siblings are not saving me from being sad. On the contrary, they are amplifying that so much. The fact that these siblings are not working well together, are talking to each other like that, it's making me sad. The fact that they all have reasons to think that they didn't have the life that they deserved. You know, Bumi couldn't be a bender, so you know Bumi was not a bender, is not a bender, so he had to prove himself. Kia, she had to stop her life in a way to come back to her mother when Aang died. We have also Tenzin, who was forced to have the responsibility of being the last airbender after Aang, to have the responsibility in Republic City, to take Aang's legacy for himself when, okay, they are boss Aang's kids, but he had to represent them and it's hard also. And yes, for the three of them, how they are dealing with the situation and how they dealt in fact with the situation when there were kids but also adults, how they are treating each other right now, it's making me sad. And what is making me even more sad, it's how they are talking about Aang and the fact that maybe Aang was not a good father to them. And you know, I don't like that. For all of the characters of Avatar The Last Airbender, it's characters that I love so much that I don't want to hear anything bad that they did after the time that I knew them. Okay, they were adults, okay, they have the right to make mistakes and all, and it's logical, they are humans, they are not perfect and all of that. But right there, it's another level of not being perfect, to be that kind of dad who is not treating his kids in an equal way, who is only considering the one who was airbending. It's bad, and I don't want to know that Aang was like that. Maybe also because I can't believe it, why Aang would be like that. It's making me sad. And also we have Ikki who disappeared, we don't know why, we didn't find her. They are too occupied to argue with each other that they're not thinking of her anymore. I'm thinking, you know, about that moment when one of Tenzin's kids discovered that statue and all. Why are they connected to the past lives of the Avatar? Maybe through Aang, but I can't see really a reason why. And why that statue had that around her, like she's connected to the spirits. Maybe she had also some issues with the spirits at some point. I don't know, we don't know. We don't know also what is really that, you know. We know that Unalaq is controlling the spirits. I told you that I'm afraid of that controlling stuff being related to bloodbending or not. We don't know if Korra really resolved the situation by releasing the forest. Okay, she helped the situation, but did she really resolve it with the spirits? Are they not angry anymore? No matter what, even if they're not angry anymore, they're gonna be. What Unalaq wants to do to open another portal into the other port so they can travel through that portal to one port to the other port, like you really think that this is the portal of your mother that you can use just like that? No, I'm not sure that the spirits are gonna allow that. and you have some nerves to want to do that, and for what reason? To keep the control on both tribes, which are only one tribe for you, because it's easier to claim to be the ruler of one tribe than two tribes, and that's what you're doing by taking all of your military forces to that one, to block them into the city, to force people to act like you want with these forces by... I'm sad. I'm not in a good mood. They didn't put me in a good mood, you know. And it's even worse because Unalaq, I can see that he wants to do things right, he thinks that he's doing things right, and I have several moments when I'm like, he's right to act like that, like these people, they want to assassinate him, Varric and all of this rebellion. Of course he wants to put them in jail, and he has still enough, you know, wisdom and good things into his heart, you know, I don't know how to say it, good principles, to be like, okay, I'm not gonna put them in jail, they're gonna have a trial and all of that. But after that, he wants to arrest Korra's dad, even if he knew, he heard that he was not a part of it, that he refused to be a part of it. So why are you taking him? It's really bad. And Unalaq is really, you know, on the limit with that. Like, I have the impression that he wants to manipulate Korra's mind by telling her stuff and all, and how he's acting, you know, being like that on the throne and saying all of that about his brother. But on the other hand, again, it's logical with his character, it's logical with their background. He saw his brother doing things bad on the past, and because of that, something really bad happened, the forest was destroyed, he was forced to be the savior, you know, of that situation, to see his brother being banished and to take the throne at his place. So now that he's seeing his brother doing again something wrong with the spirits, in fact he's doing the same, he's saving the situation and he wants to control it by taking the throne. He's just repeating the same thing, but it's wrong to do it like that. He should talk again with his brother, like Tonraq, he said it, he saw that he was wrong when he saw the light and all of that. He was proud of Korra, he knew that she released the forest, that they were right to do what they did, so it could have been a good proof to tell to Tonraq, see, you were wrong, you have to continue to make that link with the spirits, but you can still keep the control of your tribe. And again, that's a brother relationship which is not going well. Not a fan of the idea. At least we have Mako and Bolin who are okay with each other. Bolin, he needs to break up with his girlfriend because he's not a boyfriend, he's a slave right now, so he needs to break up with her. And Mako, he needs to stay like he is right now with Korra, because Mako, I'm admiring your calm with Korra. It's really hard, difficult to not respond to her when she's treating you like that. Again, I understand why, what the writers are doing, the fact that she's a teenager, she's angry at everyone, she thinks that everyone is against her. She's into that bad period of time, you know, when you're a teenager. And Mako is her punching ball, really. She's calming her nerves on him even if he didn't do anything. And for now he's responding well by not responding or by calming her. Thank you, Mako, for that. Varric organized that rebellion. It's gonna be an issue for Asami's business. Maybe we're gonna have news about her. Maybe not during this episode, which is the part 2 of the Civil Wars episodes, but maybe after that. I'm annoyed for her, you know, Asami. The fact that it's gonna be an issue. I want her to succeed, you know, to take back that business, to make it right. And what Varric did is not gonna help. I don't know if during this episode we are gonna resolve the situation, you know, between the brothers, the Waterbenders brothers, and also the Aang siblings. I'm not sure of it, but I hope that we're gonna resolve at least the situation with the tribes. We'll see. Yes, right now. If you want to have my Patreon on which you can have the episodes earlier, at least 1 week earlier, maybe more than that, maybe 2 weeks earlier. I can't remember when it is on YouTube because of La Casa de Papel and all, which is taking an entire week. It's putting everything in other places, so I don't know for now. Go check the description if you want to know that, and also if you want to know if you have the extended or the full reaction part on my Patreon about this episode. For extended reaction part for The Legend of Korra, it's at least 5 minutes longer, which is already a lot for short episodes like that, and with extended scenes right there without breaks. And for full reaction part, it's the full reaction part, like the words can tell me. Okay, let's go for this episode 4. Please don't make me sad again. It was really not cool, the last episode. And stop mentioning stuff that Aang did bad. I don't want to hear that.
You're making a mistake.
A terrible one.
Your parents held meetings with the rebels, right here in their home.
They didn't know that it was for that.
Appointed Judge Hotak to oversee the trial. He's the most fair and honorable man I know.
I want to meet him before saying that.
The men who attacked you.
I don't trust you anymore, Nalak.
I wasn't hiding. Hey. I'm now on the hunt for you.
You're there for who?
Our father wishes him to stand trial.
Bow to me when I exit.
Yes, my sweet koala otter.
Bolin! Have some respect for yourself.
That way. Stand up for yourself.
Yes.
I tried to break up with her.
Tell her how you really feel.
Thank you, Julie.
She's right there?
Julie never leaves my side.
Poor Julie.
I got a little something for you round back. Wow.
I'm sorry.
I need you to make sure my trusty rebels stay out of prison. What's the money for? Bribery, of course. Kiki, where are you?
How many hours? At least one night that she's outside.
Everybody here?
Kiki.
Pause off the table. This is going to be a civilized breakfast.
You found babies.
Sit quiet and listen up.
Babies, bisons.
We are most thankful because Milo and Denora aren't here because they stink.
Ah,
Do I have to go now?
Actually, is there room for one more?
you're gonna play with your
And it's to
girl.
my new brothers and sisters.
New ones, huh?
Gave all the money to some guys over there. I told them to take care of it, and then I winked.
Same.
Next thing I remember was waking up in the snow after Avatar Korra had saved me.
You heard the guy said that Tanrak was not a part of it.
I reckon your father at the meeting, didn't they?
My parents are innocent.
It was not that kind of meeting, not at first.
Hey there, Eska. I was wondering if we could talk.
I grant you permission to speak freely.
Oh, good.
Thank you.
I'm starting to feel like that spark is fading.
I agree.
I'm so glad you understand.
Nothing that is, except marriage.
No.
Let it sunset.
I have found you innocent. You are free to go. You are all found guilty. The punishment for this crime is death.
No!
You take their lives and I'll take yours.
Calm down. I'll take
Korra, no. You.
But I must ask you to reconsider. Show these men and my brother mercy.
Very well. I'll change that punishment.
Why do I think that it was planned like
But
that?
you will live them out in prison.
For him to act like he's a good guy? Or maybe not? I have trouble to read him, really.
Don't you blueberry spice it? Yes, you do.
I want one.
We should have Uncle Willie and Aunt Kai come visit.
No.
They'd like it too.
Let's not. Jinora can be so sweet and gentle.
And mean. And bossy.
Like
Being
here.
part of family is hard, huh, Daddy?
I couldn't agree with you more.
But again, even if you disagree with them, they are your family. They are there for you.
I guess the nice part about a family is they'll always be there for you. Even though Twinkle Starchild and Princess Window fight, we should probably head back, huh?
I suppose.
I'm not gonna cry because of that, please. Can't we ask for General Iroh, you know, the coalition, something like that, to intervene? Korra, be careful, don't attack. Korra, the man that did his job.
I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do. I was just following Unalaq's orders.
What are you talking about?
I knew it was planned. It's good because of that we know that it was a plan that Unalaq did, but it's bad to do that.
Unalaq told you what to say?
He's trying to keep you on his side, but he also wants your father out of the way, just like when he got your father banished.
What do you mean?
What?
Hey there, Dad.
Oh no, no,
You're
no.
looking well. Sorry I didn't turn out to be an airbender like you hoped. But I've tried my best to keep the world safe.
You did. You were a commander.
Of course he'd be proud of you, Boomy.
That is, now I'm gonna cry.
Dad's statue. Thanks, Talia. You always know when I need a hug.
He was proud of you, I'm sure of it. And I'm sad that he didn't say it to you enough.
Then he told them to hide in the spirit force, knowing my dad would go
He
after
planned that?
Unalaq wanted your dad out of the way so he could become chief.
Thought that he was just replicating what happened before that. What?
I don't even want to know.
I want to know.
No, the honesty thing worked out great. So great that she decided we should get married.
I'm pretty sure the guy is supposed to give the girl the betrothal necklace.
I guess Eska didn't get the memo.
I'm sorry, Korra. You'll never see your father again.
What?
On a ship headed to the Northern Tribe. He'll serve out his sentence there.
Bring him back.
As the Avatar, you cannot threaten war. You must
She can do everything that she wants.
Our tribe
Stop
will find you to
trying to enter into her head.
You want power.
Yes, I had that right, but not the background. I
He
really...
just killed you to learn he was the Avatar's father. No wonder you kept trying to take me away from him.
Also, you're right.
Dark spirits will annihilate the South, and even I will be powerless to stop them.
I'm done being manipulated by you because you still need me to open the Northern Portal.
No, I don't.
What?
I've served your purpose.
When we get to Barrack's boat, we can still save your father.
Let's go.
Julie, do the thing.
No.
That platypus bear is pooping money!
Really? That kind of joke? How can you lose?
Think we can catch up to it?
Sure, once you get us past our friends from the north.
Yes. Just push them. Don't engage the fight.
My dad's on that ship.
Are we sure of it? It was not a trap?
Easy, glad you're back. Yeah, sorry we made fun of you. Thanks. Want to play airball?
May have overlooked the parts of him that were less than ideal.
And we're sorry for dumping our frustrations with Dad out on you. I thought you two might want to
I
see
like
this.
that show.
Mom gave it to
Like
me
that,
before
but...
we left.
That is one good-looking family, huh?
That's the picture that I want to have in my head, thinking of your childhood. The two things that I did, but I'm sorry.
My old brother betrayed me. You have our support, Chief Tarak.
Mine too.
Ow!
I'm proud to fight alongside you, Dad.
The best way for you to help is by getting the President of the United Republic on our side. The South can give Unalaq a good fight for a while, but we'll need the United Forces.
I said it, I wanted General Iroh, to intervene, this coalition.
I started a civil war.
Exactly. Now Eska and I are officially president. Looks like we have company.
No! Okay.
Dad, is this thing fast enough to get away from my crazy waterbending ex-girlfriend? Why do you think I built this boat?
It's terrifying. Varric can be a funny character. I thought that he could be funny when we had this moment meeting him with Asami and Bolin, but after that, with him wanting to start a rebellion, I was like, maybe he's gonna be more an issue than a funny character, and now he's back to be a funny character. It's great because he's fun, but the fact that he wanted to do that rebellion, the fact that he knows stuff, and also the fact that he has a lot of resources, financial resources, it's gonna help us, and it's giving something deeper to his character. He's not just the funny character, he's someone who has also some ideas, who also wants to do stuff into that way and all. Like, it's great to have a character like him. I'm sorry, I cried again. I'm glad that they reconciled, you know, Ikki and her siblings, but also Tenzin and his siblings. But I'm not glad at all about what they said to each other during that reconciliation. They said that they shouldn't have turned against Tenzin their frustration that they have against Aang. I don't want them to be frustrated about how Aang treated them. It's my neighbor calling a cat each morning, each night. But yes, I don't want them to be frustrated about their childhood. That picture that they showed at the end, that's the picture that I had in my head for Aang and this family, their childhood. That's what I imagined. Okay, again, it's great because it's proving again that Aang is human and is making mistakes like everyone, that he was not perfect, and that's great, and that's also logical. You know, the fact that he was closer to Tenzin, okay, it's logical, but the fact that his kids felt like he was not there for them, that they really felt it and all, it's bad. And the fact that Bumi said that, you know, to Aang's statue, it's proving that he didn't hear it enough, Bumi, that his father was proud of him, that he really thinks that his father was disappointed that his first kid was not an airbender. That's really sad. The fact that he thought during a part of his childhood and still now a little as an adult that he was not enough for his dad, that his dad didn't reassure him enough about it. I'm sure that Aang reassured him a lot of times. I'm sure that he didn't do anything wrong really against his kid. Like during the last season, we had Yakon doing really bad stuff as a dad. I'm sure that Aang didn't do that. But still, he didn't treat his kids equally, so much that Bumi thought at some point that he was not good enough. It's really bad, and it's something that I didn't want to know. It's breaking my heart a little. I don't know if it was your case, you know, the first time that you watched The Legend of Korra and that story that you heard it, but me, it's really breaking my heart, and I really have some trouble to consider that the characters that I love so much during Avatar The Last Airbender could act like that, badly. But I'm glad that Tenzin is back, that they reconciled and all, it's great. For all of the part with Korra and all of them, Unalaq, I knew I was conflicted about him, but I didn't know why. And to be totally honest, I was conflicted, but I was more on the side he's doing the things that he thinks which are right. I really thought that, and it's still the case, but the motives behind that are different. For me, his motives was to protect his people like he did in the past. He wanted to protect his people again, right there. But no, it was not that, because of the fact that what I thought, which was the truth about the past, was not. He was lying. He planned all of that with this man attacking the tribe, with this man going into that forest. He told them to do so. He knew what was going to happen with his brother. He wanted to be the savior. He wanted his brother to be punished. He wanted to have the throne. So since the beginning, it's a question of power. His motives are just a question of power. So I'm totally against everything that he did because of that, in fact, you know, because the motive behind all of that is not the one that I thought, and nothing can be okay for me. He wants power. Since the beginning, he wants power. What happened in the past, what is happening right there, he wants power. I was right, he was manipulating Korra. You know, I thought of it during the last episode, I said it to you, but I think that you saw it into my face and into my words. Even if I was guessing that maybe it could be something real, I was preferring the other theory about no, he wants to do things right and all. No, he wants to have the power. Even that trial, I knew that something was wrong during that trial. I was like, it's not possible. Sentenced to death like that, it can't be. After that, Unalaq intervened and the judge changed his opinion so suddenly. I was like, it's too sudden. Maybe in fact it was planned since the beginning, since Unalaq. I said it, but in my head, more than in my heart, I couldn't believe it, because it's not that I trusted Unalaq, it's more that I didn't have any proof that the guy was doing something wrong. I had just some instincts, some feelings, but no facts. He planned everything. What happened, you know, with Cora attacking that judge, we can be glad that she did it, because of that we discovered the truth. But it's really wrong that she did it. Because of the fact that she is the Avatar, she considered that she had the right to kill the judgment, you know, to destroy a fair trial, a fair judgment, to have the right to do anything, everything. No. I'm sorry, but no. I can understand why for a character, for the situation, but I'm against it for what it means for the Avatar, you know. No, the Avatar can't do everything that she wants. Yes, the Avatar can have opinions and take sides. I was not okay with Unalaq saying that. He was really trying to manipulate her right there. But she can't intervene like that always. Tonraq is free, that's great. Tonraq's wife, she's still into the city, right? It's not great. But at least they're out of it and they want to attack, not on their own. They want to have the help of the President of Republic City, maybe also to the United Forces. We're gonna see General Iroh again, and maybe other characters, new characters. Who is the President? They didn't say it during the first episode. I'm okay with that, because that's what I wanted. I don't want brothers to fight each other like that. It's really words against words. How can you prove to everyone that Unalaq did that on the past, did that right there? Maybe by taking the words of that judge, but is he gonna repeat it? I'm not sure. You need more than that. And you need also someone between these two brothers for that to not be a private situation and to not be a war between tribes. What are tribes? Bolin. The fact that she put that on him, like Asami or Mako said, normally it's the contrary. He was that close to marry her because he couldn't say no to her. I understand the guy, she's frightening, but come on, Bolin. You're pure, naive and nice. I love you for that, but you need to show some character at some point. Or maybe to get a real help, because Mako and Asami, there was just telling you stuff like the easiest thing that they could say, but maybe they needed to intervene. You know Bolin, you know that he needs help, come on. Intervene for real. Maybe we're gonna see them again. I don't think that she's gonna follow them for a long time right there, but that was fun, that end. It's really a good mix, you know, all of the things with Cora, with Tonraq, with Unalaq. It's so deep with the emotions, with what it means, with the civil wars, with all of that. It's really rough, deep, intense, serious things. So to have Bolin's story and to have also Tenzin narrative arc with that, it's bringing something which is lighter, you know, which is funnier. It's great to have that mix, you know, because without these two stories, it would be only about the civil wars, the situation right there, the jail, the fight, Unalaq, what he did, the judge. It would be really heavy, like final episodes of a season. Right there, it was just the episode 4. How are we gonna finish this season? That's another question. We'll see, and I will see that in another day, because that's it. Today I watched 3 episodes and that was great. That was enough, because you know, this morning I watched the movie which was ending Firefly, the show, the story, and I already cried. And these 3 episodes of The Legend of Korra, there were a lot to take, you know. Really, the last episode made me really sad, so I'm glad that I'm finishing the session of binge watching right now. Okay, so I'm sorry I'm like that because of mosquitoes things, you know, that I have. I was camping. Yes, it's a good word also in English for that. I was camping with some friends during 3 days on an island, you know, around France, and we had so many mosquitoes. Really, my body is covered with mosquitoes things. I want to scratch all of them like that, like you. I have to stop. Okay, so it's all for you and for me for today, so it's all for me for now, so bye for now. Bye.
Wait a minute, Doc. Are you telling me that you built a time machine? Great.